Hello, hello. I'm just checking in. I'll wait to see if anybody comes on. So I'll give some time for people to see the notification. Hopefully they see it. Hold on. Let me see. I think someone's here now. I'm just checking in, guys. Didn't get to go live this morning. Hey, D Mood, good to see you. I'm seeing you on my phone. Yeah, the phone's faster than the StreamYard. Okay. I'm just checking in. I didn't get to go on this morning. I had to run up and down. Hey, African Dreaming. So I'm just checking in with everybody, make sure you're doing well, and try to stay consistent with my channel. Make sure I'm going up consistently. And how's your guys' fall garden going? I'm not really doing much because my season is short, so I will be planting some stuff today, but I had to wait because hey, resilient dad, I have to build up my beds. I have a bed that I was going to plant in. When I looked, the soil has really sunken down. So I'm going to have to build it back up, but I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't even bother and just plant somewhere else and then build that up to let it sit for the fall with the leaves and stuff and more soil and then come back to that in the spring. Hey, the chicken. So I'm just checking in with you guys. So, make sure everyone's okay. Keep up with the news that you don't need to use. Last week we talked about for 5 hours about a whole bunch of stuff, so we're not going to go there today. Let me drop the link as well. Want to just chitter chatter, but yeah, I'm going to drop some seeds today. I'm going to clean up some of the plants. I'm letting everything go to seed. The point this year was to collect as many seeds as I can for myself to give away and to donate back to the local library so that they can share them with the community, and then we can have stronger diversity of the seeds for our own zone, our own micro zone. So a lot of the plants that I took from them, I will be harvesting my seeds of those same plants in a separate bag, adding it to their package and giving it back to them so that they can pass it along. Hey, juicing with Jay. Juicing with Jay. You had a premiere. I don't know if you read the chat. I was like juicing with Jay. How you eating the dragon fruit and smacking your lips and just sitting there smacking up the dragon fruit, and then you're not sharing nothing with us. We just sitting there watching you eat the dragon fruit. Then you weren't even at the premiere. You just left us high and dry. What happened there? My mint, I have mint that went to seed last season, and when I harvested it this year, it didn't smell like mint. It must be a different type of mint. I actually dug most of it up, so I better leave it to go back. Um, I didn't steep it, mind you, but it didn't smell like mint, so I wasn't sure what was happening. But you can't kill mint; it's hard to kill it. So I'm gonna let it come back in the pot, and we'll see what happens. But man, juicing with Jay just eating that dragon fruit, smacking his lips, doing me dirty like that. So that's what that's what I'm waiting for is my a nice dragon fruit. But dragon fruit is nice, and that color was very pretty. The purple one or the like, almost like fuchsia looking one, it was very nice. Um, my coriander went to seed. I didn't plant that much, but I'm gonna harvest the seeds as much as possible. Some are already dry. I actually ate one because it's a seasoning, and I'm gonna drop some more seeds. Um, I thought the mint patch behind the potatoes were weeds until this year. You see, that's what we're noticing a lot, that we think things are weeds and they're not. Oh, you're you're in the rat race. So I was in the chat. I'm like, Jay, where are you? Where are you? If you read the live, you'll see what we're talking about. We're going back and forth. Like this man is smacking his lips. What? um, but yeah, so my stuff is going to seed. My fennel, it's going to seed, but I'm not gonna let it go to seed. It gets too tough, and I want to use the bulb. I went to the store today, the wholesale store, to get some stuff on our way to go to take care of some of the properties that we have to take care of, and um, a lot of the prices, well, not produce now. If you're buying stuff like for a restaurant or like serve food, the prices there weren't that great. Cases of juice, cases of water. It's better to go to like Wally World, to be honest. But the convenience is that they have everything that you need right there. The produce now is very nicely priced. And we're gonna be going on another juice cleanse soon. So we're gonna be going buying like a case of celery, a case of carrot, like stuff in bulk, and it's cheaper that way. But man, um, I don't think like the prices are really. We're talking about storing food. So I was telling them, what I've been noticing, and um, they're like, "Why don't you share it on your channel? Share it on your channel." And I'm trying to tell them like, there's a lot of people who are experts who've been doing this from a long time. They've been prepping for years. I'm not sharing because there's enough information out there. And secondly, I don't need people to know exactly what I'm doing. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry. They're not used to me going live at this time, so they don't know the don't call this time. What's the chicken saying? Hold on, I missed something here. My gourds are starting to flower as well. My zucchini is finally coming in as well. Mind you, I planted them in July. My melons, I'm not getting any watermelon this year. Cantaloupe, like they were planted late. And even with the late planting, it was not even that. It's the weather. The weather was not that great. We had a lot of rain, especially the last month, but you would think that the containers weren't getting water. I had to still water them manually. They were just dry as a bone. The fires, I think the fires are okay over here, my side now, but the fires, hey FR Humphrey, other provinces, it's still bad. Very bad. I think they're going to evacuate one of the areas. I don't know if it's the Northwest Territories. I can't remember the region, but they're on the verge of evacuating. I know in the States, Montana was having, some close calls. People had to maybe evacuate. They're waiting to hear from the local law enforcement. They kind of went around to tell people like, be prepared if you get that, siren or whatever they do there to pack it up and leave. They had to get people's organized, especially when you have livestock, because you're not leaving your livestock. You're taking that as much as you can. They had to make sure they had trailers and whatever they need to load up the animals and take them with them. But they didn't have to leave yet. Um, as you guys all know, you're in the states of Maui, the whole Maui issue. It's a lot of disgustingness going on all around. When I went down to come back today, we came back through Hamilton, a town called Hamilton. It's called Steel Town. Hey, Texas Lala, and anybody I may have missed. Steel Town, and the homelessness has been a problem there for a minute. Last, they had cleared up the park and removed everybody from the park. When we went there today, the park had at least 10 tents popped back up, and the other park about 10 tents as well. And the problem with this is what I'm gonna say. So I'm trying not to be vulgar, but the problem with this is that a lot of these individuals are not prepared for off grid or living off the grid. So when it comes to toileting, a lot of people are toileting on people's property. So the one that we have to take care of, there's no back fence. It's open so that cars can pull up and park there, and then you just walk into the house from like off the back veranda. They're noticing like human feces all around, and then we were like, you know, human, maybe it's dog or whatever. And then the person goes, no, this is human. Sent a picture, and then I got the picture sent to me. Um, and it's like we've always, when we go into the house, we don't wear our outside shoes inside, but even more so, we can't be doing them foolishness because you don't know what you're trepsing and walking through. So, um, they're using other people's property, which is a problem. And there's parks and playgrounds and kids and stuff, and people are upset. And we're driving around because I'm like, there's not any really vacant land. Well, there is, but Some of it's fenced around, but they can find another place to kind of park, because all they're doing is leaving, and then they come back. Once the police leave, they come back after a few days or a week, put the tent back, and they're back to their same business. But they're not being very clean. They're not being very sanitary, and it's that's the part that's very problematic. Urban, okay, so the fires. Yeah, I'm doing a detox. I've been eating out a lot the last 2 weeks, and I don't usually eat out, and I don't usually have fast food, but sometimes you're just like, man, I have so much on my plate, and I've been in the drive-through left, right, and center. So I got to get it under control. Fall is coming, winter, which means flu season, and I don't want my immune system, getting out of hand, and I don't want to turn, back the time and put back on the weight that I got off. So that ain't happening over here. Um, yeah, I wasn't on this morning, Texas. I couldn't get on this morning, but I said, let me get on now just to, make sure I don't, lose my consistency of Saturdays, at least, going going live. Early this year, um sorry, my thing is a little slow. This year there are some scattered bushfires, none close to here in Lakeville. I think it's Connecticut. Chickens just don't like the smoke. Yeah. I don't listen, it's not Canadian fire. What? Listen, it's fires, the fires. Americans loved in the media to always put the it's Canadian fires. Oh, the Canadian. Listen here, it's just whatever it is. Blame, like it's like that cartoon. Blame Canada. A whole song about blaming Canada. Oh my goodness. Um, Southern California's prepping for hurricane damage and tornadoes. Stay safe. Yeah, this is not a good time. People are, barely making it check to check, week to week. Never mind. Homelessness is like not impossible for many of us. You know, things, the few things happen, and before you know it, it could be you. If you don't have family to stay with, it's just difficult times all around. But you can't be not having a plan for toileting. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do, but they can't be going on people's property and doing that. That's just unacceptable. And we had to clean up some foolishness, and it's just, yeah, it's not acceptable. It's not hygienic. Parts of Washington State just got evacuated because of, yeah, it's not good. And that's when you start to realize I have insurance, I have this, I have that. Read your policy. Read your policy. Because I was horrified with some of the things that hay planter are in the policy that they do and don't cover. And the deductible is so high in some of the different categories that by time, there's a flood in the basement at one place, and they're supposed to take care of it. The city's supposed to help with some of it because it was their fault, because they did not connect the sewage properly in the first place when they did their thing, and it was just draining underneath the house, I guess, and then now it's backing up in the basement. They applied for a grant for a sump pump in the basement. There's water sitting there. Now the water's getting scum, and now when you go down there, we went down there, it smells. We removed all the stuff, all the linens from down there. They went to the laundress to wash and sanitize, but where are we going to put them? The basement is now smelling. So we had to pour some bleach because I don't know what else to do. I said, let's pour some bleach and chlorine tablets to keep the water from getting too smelly. And then while the city and the plumber kind of go back and forth, it's ridiculous. But, and then the insurance is not going to pay because they're like, well, the deductible is so much, so much. So yeah. And while you're waiting, your place is getting a little bit more damage. We are having a beautiful Saturday. I'm at park right now, Sundays, and it's supposed to be turn up. This is a turn up. Yeah, exactly, Dimu. They exactly, a cat would dig a hole, even a dog would, somewhat kind of. Yeah. And for you to have to do a number two, you have to basically disrobe pretty much. So there's a little alleyway. So they found a little crevice, but that's for like the homeowner and like the people who live there to walk through. So now they're gonna have to try to get a fence and a whole bunch of stuff. And the last time we were there cleaning up, somebody heard a noise and they came up from the basement and they're like, "What are you doing here?" "Oh, we're waiting for our Uber." And then they, said couple of bad words and said, "Go away for the Uber on the street. No, come off of the property," and said some harsh words. And then they grabbed their stuff and left. And then she's like, I swear he was kind of crouching down like he was going to pull his pants down and go to the bathroom. And he probably was. He probably thought nobody was there and was quite horrified when somebody came up the basement and was like, what are you doing here? Hey, Food Forest. Hey, Howie. Hey, J3GS. There's a lot going on in these streets, but the homelessness is in Hamilton, even Toronto. I haven't been downtown Toronto, but Toronto's bad. Um, Burlington is bad. Niagara, I didn't see any homelessness, but I saw a lot of other behavior. At the highway exits when you're coming off the highway, people there begging. There's a couple of spots where there's a chair and a cooler there for when they come back. Like that's their spot, and they go there every day and they, wash windows, I guess, and they ask for money. It's getting out of hand. It's getting really out of hand. Um, and there's nowhere for them to go. So it's like you're in between a rock and a hard place. I don't know what to tell them, but they definitely can't keep doing what they're doing. It's not comfortable for people who are raising, young families and their kids can't even go to the park with their friends. Like there has to be adults and stuff there because you don't know what's going on. And if you can't even use your local park, like what's the point? And I'm talking accoutrements. I don't, is it just me or people who are homeless have a lot of stuff? I know you need stuff to live. I know you need stuff to, but if you're constantly getting kicked out of a place, how come you have so much stuff? Yeah, it's very sad to see them homeless. That's the worst thing. Like, where do you go? You need a place to lay your head to sleep. You want a place to eat, like just a place that's you can just relax and let loose. But no, they have a tent, thank God, because they've upgraded these individuals. So at least they have a tent to keep the cold and the wetness off of them. Um, actually some very nice tents, to be honest, but they can't just stay there and part. Like I don't know what to tell you. They have to find a piece of land that they don't really want to use for anything and allow them to stay there and have some porta potties or something because they can't just keep it like this. It's not the neighborhood, the people, um, even several of the Airbnbs. A lot of comments were made from the guests, which I find obnoxious, to be honest. Talking about the home, there's a lot of homeless people. There's a lot of homeless people. Why does it bother you? They're not violent. They're not bothering you. They're not harassing you. Why is seeing the homeless people such a problem for you? You're not homeless. You have a place to go. They don't even want to see them. They don't want to look at them. And the comments, the downgraded comments about the area, we can't control that. Nothing we can do about that. We can't tell them you can't use the park. Hey, G Mama, nothing we can do about that. But they're very, like, classism is a real problem. I went to the bank and a while ago, and you used to be able to go into Great Live last night. Was it last night or the night before, D Mood? Because last night, was he live last night or the night before? I know the night before we were chopping it up on Planter. But I went to a bank a while ago, my local bank, and we used to be able to go put our card in the door, and there's a vestibule, or atrium or whatever we call a vestibule, and you go in and you can access the bank machines, but you can't get into the actual bank. There's another door that's locked. So you could go there 24 hours a day. And no, it's not safe to go to the bank at night as a woman, but I used to work night shift. So sometimes I used to work the 2 a.m. shift, sometimes a 10 p.m. shift. So sometimes I had to go to the bank at weird hours to deposit rent money, deposit stuff. 'Cause I didn't want to be carrying, money on me in my purse and I'm not at home, so I would rather put it in the bank. People were sleeping in the vestibule, so they couldn't do that. They started to lock the bank, so you could not access it. Now they built in a drive-through ATM machine, but half the time it's out of service. So really, anyways, I was at the bank. The bank was open, and there was a homeless person in the vestibule. I guess he had gotten some money, and he was counting it. He was hunched over, and he had a whole wad of money. Not a good idea, but then again, people like that don't use bank cards. They don't tap. They don't have credit. Oh, the other channel. Okay, I missed it. Planter. I didn't see that come on my feed. But then again, this platform doesn't give you the alerts. So this man came in and he was cussing the homeless man, like, you stink, and like just totally. I'm like, yo, nobody told you to stand there and smell him. If you don't want to, like, keep it moving. Go in the bank, do your business, and leave. Like, you don't have to berate the man and tear down the man and insult the man. Like, my God. I was just like, yo, man, just shut up. You know, it's just disgusting. You don't have to go out of your way to make people feel like crap. So, I said something like, yo, man, you're more disgusting than the man. The man's homeless. At least he has a reason. Your moat is stink. And the man gave me an eye and he just stopped because I'm like, I'm not the one. I didn't come here for a fight, but I'm certainly not gonna stand there and you're gonna just talk to the man like dirt. Like, geez, my goodness. Doesn't take much to just mind your own business. A game of 360 degrees of concept and of observation went out of the village in the city. Nice to get back to the realm and wonder at times, will it come to my village? Probably, because a lot of them are moving further out. Because my neighborhood is further out, and they found it over here. They're moving out and just in the parks and in wherever. But man, they have nowhere else to go. They don't want to see the harmonies. It reminds them how sorry they are for not giving them a hand. Oh, yeah, probably that. But they don't want to see them. They don't even like there are people. I watched this I can't remember what channel, but there was like an advertise. Oh, this guy was talking about living in the cities. Like I think it was even talking about Toronto and why he left Toronto and now he's living in Dubai. Oh, it's clean, it's this and that, and there's no homeless people. Like, oh, he's like, he was so disgusted. Well, people in Dubai have money. Like, so you only want to be around people who have money and are at your level, and you don't want to see and exist in a world with anybody lower than your tax bracket. That's not really appropriate. And Dubai has its own dirt and own corruption. Ask all them Instagram models and what they think they have to do to get some cash over there. It's not the same lifestyle and culture. So, you know, pick the good with the bad. Don't make it seem like it's all good over there and not bad. But yeah, he left, doesn't want to see homeless people and the bums and the this and the that. And yeah, so disgusting. And oh, the home, yes, I know, the autocorrect. He didn't want to see it. I don't want to see it in my backyard, mind you. I don't want them filthing in my property, but I don't think I can live in a world and I'm never gonna see homeless people or people who are struggling or people, that's not realistic. And the fact that we're seeing it more and more each day is indicative of a bigger problem. We need to deal with the bigger problems and not worrying about insulting people. Okay, so I gotta check. I'm gonna make sure my notifications are on that other channel. Go to the bank in 2 or 3s. Yeah, I usually do, and I usually check my surroundings. I go in. I don't go in with my purse. I just go in with the bank card. I lock the door. I have something sharp in my pocket, and my hands in my other pocket with something sharp, very sharp, allegedly. And I don't it's not a conversation. If you come up behind me and start something, I'm gonna finish it off. But I don't do that anymore because it's like, really, there's other times and place that I can do stuff, go to the bank. I'm not on night shift anymore anyways. I work from home now, so all of that stuff is not even an issue. I can do that at different times. But usually I do go with somebody, but there were odds times where I couldn't do that. Um Crazy. But yeah, it's a problem. I don't know what they're going to do about it. They're going to probably do another sweep in the next few weeks or so, but winter is coming. Last night I had to actually sleep with my duvet on. It wasn't freezing, but mind you, I had the window open. I like fresh air when I'm sleeping, as long as it's not winter. So I do like the window open. So there was fresh air coming in, and yet I'm under the duvet. But that's how I like it. I like fresh air and to feel the temperature comfortable. And I had to put on the duvet. It was chilly. Um, I don't want to put on flannel pajamas just yet, but it's chilly. The nights are chilly. I'm gonna have to do I didn't do my cloning yet of my plants. I can't find my rooting hormone, and I know I have it somewhere. This is the problem. I have too much stuff. I'm gonna have to spend some time and organize my gardening stuff, the chicken coop, the garage. There's a few things that I have in multiples, but I can't find them. So you keep rebuying stuff, and I'm not buying things again this year. I've had enough. I'm going to look for the stuff. So I'm going to get my cloning done because it's chilly, it's cold. It's not going to frost yet, but you can feel that winter's coming. And there are some things I have to get done, storing up water for basically right now I'm relying on my hose outside to fill the I have a now a 5-gallon bucket for my chickens. I changed the waterer from that one to the one that you put the cups around a 5-gallon bucket or the nipple things. That's a lot cleaner, a lot better. I should have bought the nipples and not the cups because they're still getting dirt in them. But I take the hose, I rinse it off, I rinse out the cups, I fill it up, and that's that. But in the winter, I have to turn off that hose. I will not have water outside. And the tap water outside has a filter on it. I don't want to give them the chlorinated water from the kitchen. So I'm filling up the big jugs of water in the garage so I can use that as long as I can. And I'm not going to turn off the hose until I absolutely have to, which is usually by Remembrance Day, like November 11th. By then, the hose should be off. So I'm going to remove the hose and drain it out and put it away by the end of mid-October. And I'll just use the faucet and pour it directly in the bucket. But the water has to be turned off by early November. So I'm not going to have any water outside. And I'm not bringing in the chicken stuff in the house if I don't have to, because that's just nah. Um, so I have to make sure that those things are prepared, set up, so I'm not having to cross in and out the house. Hold on a second here. Let's catch up with the chat. Yeah, you need to know the culture before you move over and get locked up for eating with the fork. Yeah, or giving somebody a kiss teeth, like, oh, that's unacceptable for a woman to even do that. You're locked up for five months. Oh my god, jeez. Yeah, you better know the culture, because you might. Oh yeah, the girls are laying planter. The girls are laying, and I'm selling the extra eggs. But going forward in the future, because right now it's about supplying my family with eggs, and we realize, man, this is too much eggs. But also just learning how to deal with the animals and their care and all that hygiene, keeping down vermin and rats, and just knowing what I'm doing versus waiting till I get a homestead and then I have to figure it out then. I want to figure out as much as I can now, and even to know that 6 birds is more than enough for 4 adults. Nobody eats that many eggs. Now, if you want some for your family and to sell, maybe 8 girls would be enough. Then you know they're going to get older. You have to replace your flock, just stuff like that. I'm trying to learn and figure out now. I haven't water glass eggs. I don't really need to. Um, Freeze drying might be an option when if I get a freeze dryer. I don't know if I can dehydrate them, or you can just freeze them raw. You crack the eggs, put them in like ice cubes, freeze them raw, and then pop them out and cook them. But there's other ways to preserve food. That's also part of my plan. But fresh eggs, trust me, I'm not really going back to store-bought eggs. I don't think ever in this life again. If I don't have them myself, I'll go to a farm and get them. Never in this life am I going back to that. The food system is worse than I could ever have imagined. Now that I'm delving into it, won't be doing that. So, and I know that they're healthy, they're happy. The way that they're treated also is affects the food that they're providing. Um, I can control what they're eating for the most part. Yes, I give them the pellets, but I'm giving them garden food, greens. I'm giving them herbs and certain things to keep them from getting sick, and that's also making a better product. Um, okay, see ya. Food forest. You're gonna go water that too. Have to water. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. They're very entertaining. They're good. They're very smart, and they're also very dumb at the same time. They're funny. They have distinct personalities. They're happy to see you. I haven't had any predator issues. I'm very trying to make sure I keep an eye on them. But yeah, we need to be more in control of our food. It's unfortunate that we live in a country that doesn't allow you to do certain things because they're afraid of disease and sickness and odors and this and that. But there should be some areas in every community, city, region that allows for it. Like maybe, okay, over here you're allowed to do it because you're more remote, you have bigger lot sizes, something, because we shouldn't have to be steered to the grocery store. It's just not, yeah. The plants are confused. Yeah, the I have to go and clone my cannabis, the ganja, and I got to clone. I was gonna clone the fig trees, but I'm not sure if I have enough limbs, so I don't want to even trouble that. The figs are coming in now. They're the size of grapes. I can't. I'm not gonna get figs, and this is like like every year it's a problem. I'm not getting figs because it doesn't have enough time. I don't know. I'm gonna put them in the garage and we'll see what happens. Let me. Hey, AR guns. The weather messed up everything, and I'm not complaining because like complaining is such a nasty habit, attribute, and it just shows unthankfulness, and God doesn't like that. But the weather has messed up a lot of stuff. Now, had I planted the stuff on time, would I have maybe got better results? Most likely, because I had a lot of time to plant stuff and I was just had too much on my plate. And I said I was cutting back, but then I was at the nursery every week buying all these plants. And then that was part of the problem. The herbs, though, I don't regret planting those herbs because they're going to make me tea and stuff for the fall and winter. And I've learned a lot about different blends. So that was a good lesson. But the food, the zucchinis, the squashes, I should have gotten them in a place earlier. They did not. So I'm gonna have to buy those things in the store. Unfortunately, I'm very upset. Because I could have had a good supply like before. Say no to factory food and healthy human will follow. Amen to that. I'm going to get my beds ready in the fall for the spring. I follow me and Fifi and other people follow the rule of thumb. We buy our supplies in the fall. So I went to the store and bought a whole bunch of soil and compost. I'm gonna put them in the beds, fill the beds to the brim as much as I can. I'm gonna maybe put some leaves on first, then fill it to the brim and let it sit for the winter months. And then in the spring, the beds are pretty much ready. Just a matter of maybe adding some, amendments from the my compost bin. I can probably add in the chicken manure that was sitting for 6 months and build them a bit more and then plant. I have two other beds that are not assembled. I'm gonna get them assembled because the squashes could have gone in those beds and get the pots, same thing, get the pots amended a bit from the fall so that in the spring it's less work. Because that's part of the problem. You can't do it all by yourself and amend the beds. And it's just too much. Plant to plate to person. That's it. Exactly. Just too many hands in our food. There's too many. Hey, Big Rooster. There's too many steps along the way. If you guys can get, your own stuff, I recommend it. I'm not gonna complain. Just keep dropping these until it gets, yeah. But I learned that hey badass, there's some things I could have done better because I have to remember it's only me, my two hands. I can't overburn myself out. I'm busy. Summertime is other things going on, and I have animals. So I have to make sure I plan myself better ahead of time. So I am going to build up the beds in the fall, and people are not busy in the fall. Like all the summer activities and the barbecues and the things are finished. You can probably get some help, get the soil lifted to the back. I have stones at the front. I need someone to lift them to the back because I tried and it's taken me a year. They're still like I take one and I get tired. I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then it's just there. And the other five that are there, I cannot lift them up for the life of me. So someone's gonna have to come, or two people are gonna have to come and lift it up to the back. I got my fence at the back done. So now it's not that ghetto ugly fence. Somebody gets secondhand fences from projects. So he charged a cheaper rate, installed the fence and installed the gate. All I have to do is paint it with some stain. So he showed me what stain he used. It's like a charcoal gray stain slash sealer in one. So I'm gonna paint that back fence, the gate, and then there's a bench up there that's weather torn wood. I'm gonna stain that one as well and get the place more beautified because I just don't know what's gonna happen. And I just may like I'm looking for a bigger property, looking because sometimes when you look, that's when you find something. If something comes up and I can say, okay, I can sell this one, at least it'll be more visually appealing and get things looking nice, especially outside. I need to figure out a new plan for composting. This apartment life is rough trying to grow. I know you because you moved. So now you have to figure out everything. I don't I like composting in a pile, like, the old fashioned way at the back, but I have the space for that. So that's not going to work. If I was in an apartment, like banana peels, I was trying it. I baked them and just ground them up. I wasn't putting bananas in a pile to compost. You can dehydrate them in the oven. You may have to dehydrate stuff, G Mama. It may be part of what you do for your composting, and just grind them up in an old blender and then use that as your fertilizer. I know people have that new Lumi or whatever you call these things that kind of they do something to your old scraps and make it compost. Don't ask me. There's different companies that do it. Oh, thanks, badass. It's going on, but I need to get it looking more decent. And because if I do want to move, yeah, and I'm gonna get the shed at the back. Well, it's the chicken where the girls are. The roof has to be redone. The shingles have been like 2 years beyond overdue, and I want to put some siding on it to make it look nice. Because even if I sell it, if I remove the chicken coop, that's an operable shed. You can put your tools in there. You can put your weed whacker. There's shelves in there. You can make that a nice tool shed. The previous owner used to do his killing in there. Oh Lord, gosh, I used the wrong word. Delete that, YouTube. Delete that. He used to dispatch his animals in there because, from what I understand, he's Caribbean, but he would buy a live chicken and then butcher it in that area. Lord, I said the wrong word. Jeez, peas. Because sometimes when you look at your video, them take off the monetization because you said some words that, anyways. So he used to butcher chickens and turkeys um and have it there. But it's a good shed, but it doesn't look good. So I want to get that fixed up, sealed up properly, waterproofed, get that going on. The lawn is not too bad. I want to drop some seeds in the fall. I'm not a lawn person. I don't know anything about lawn care and which seeds and bluegrass. I don't know none of that. I buy a bag from the store. I drop the seeds in some soil, and whatever happens, happens. I hope it gets thicker, and that's all I care about. And that's about it. The front of the house needs some work, but everything costs money, as you know. So you got to pick and choose where you spend the money and what's going to give you the most back in the long run. Um, I think I said yes. Hi to growing up the box. I'm only working with veggie scraps and tea from my garden now. I hear that Lumi ain't worth the money too. Yeah, like I take my stuff and I just dry it in the oven, and I've been grinding it up because I want to do some things in the house plants, and it's just, yeah, sometimes it's just easier just to do it that way. It's neater. You can put them in jars and just put down, banana powder. People are using their pomegranate skins and doing the same thing, and they're even actually using that for their smoothies. You know, but you can probably do that. Dry them. Tea bags. I have a tray. I dry them in my used tea bags. I dry them in, then I dump out the contents. If it's those lace meshy bags, um, I cannot put that in my garden. Even the wrapper, we use those peat pellets. I rip off the wrapper of it because they don't dissolve in the soil. You'll come back 5 years later and it's still there in the soil. So I rip it off before I plant them in the garden. And a lot of the tea bags are not right. So I'm using a lot of loose leaf tea. So same thing. I just sit there, let it dry in a tray, and throw that directly in the pots and just do that. There's no right or wrong. Just do what works for you. Because if it's going to be difficult, you're just not going to do it. People can say whatever, but if you're not going to make your life easier, you're not going to do it. So make your life easier and forget what people have to say. Yeah, we're very heavily censored these days, Demode. You have to watch what you're saying because everything offends. Even I was wondering when I first came on the platform, I was wondering why it didn't. He goes, oh yeah, I got some bacon seeds. I said bacon seeds. So I'm like, is that some kind of special plant? Like I was really like lost. Like, is that some kind of special plant? And they're like, no, we can't say things because people are offended. Offended from what? If you don't eat meat, that's not my problem. Then I'm not the channel for you. We eat meat here. We grow food like meat. If you're not a meat eater, then maybe you shouldn't be watching. But to say you're offended, where do you think all the bacon from the store comes from? from Babe. I can't say it because it upsets you. Like it's gotten ridiculous. It's gotten ridiculous. Um, yeah, loose leaf tea is much better. And then the bushes, the herbs that I'm drying myself is going to be loose leaf. My sister purchased some tea bags to put your own tea in, unbleached natural stuff. But then again, you don't know, but hopefully it's legit, uh unbleached little baggies, and then they can be put in the compost when finished. My coffee, the same thing. I use a Keurig, but I don't use their pods. I used to, and I do have a few still in stock, but I weaned off of it because it's the thin plastic. The machine's putting hot water through it, and you done know that's not going to be good. So I put them in my reusable stainless steel pod that's used in that device, and put my loose ground coffee in there in a paper filter if needed, and then I run it through that. I don't It takes a bit of work, but it's not much compared to doing your own coffee from scratch. But you have to be careful. Some of the stuff that we're using to prepare the food in is what's making us sick more than sometimes the chemicals in and on the food. The plastic and the it's leaching into everything. The water bottles that you buy those individual waters from, the plastic is so thin. That's not You can't say nothing. So bacon, I'm like bacon seeds, huh? And you can't say, you have to say dispatch because if you say something else, oh, what do you think's happening to the animal? You know, I don't know. I don't know. They're trying to make everybody eat the Beyonds and the other stuff, but Soylent Green, Soylent Green, don't fall for the hype because what they're giving you as a replacement is not any better. So I'm gonna start the juice cleanse, and I'm not gonna just drink juice. I'm gonna be eating, but and I have a treat here and there. Nothing wrong with the treat. I'm not gonna do like a full, but I gotta get back on track because after 2 weeks, I gotten off my routine and I'm eating too much food. But what I have been doing, I tried. I don't know what you guys do. Like I went to the Golden Arches and I had a filet of fish during the 2 weeks, and I got greedy. I had a double filet of fish, but um, I've been trying their wraps. They have like a wrap with grilled chicken. So I usually get the grilled chicken wrap. I get light sauce because they always slather on so much sauce. I got the fries with no salt, and I had the drink with no ice. Don't get ice, guys. And even the drink, don't get the drink because those fountain drinks, the machines are so dirty. They don't clean them. The tubing. So, anyways, God help me. I hope I don't get salmonella. But no salt and light sauce. So it hasn't been too bad. And now that I'm not having the fries taste fine to me because I'm used to having no salt. But yeah, it's not like before when I was like, oh my God, I feel so sick when I finished eating their food. It's I'm not promoting the food, but I'm just saying try to pick the healthier options when you're, in the drive-through. Don't Yeah, the golden arches don't. It doesn't. It just, trust me, G mama. I'm like, oh Lord. When you hear the gurgling, the stomach gurgling, you know you're in trouble. But I tried to find some other options, and it's kind of going, but no, I gotta stop. I'm gonna get a new coffee press for my tea. I've broken my other tea brewing contraptions. I only like it. Yeah, I have a glass coffee thing too, and I use it for tea. I also have the stainless steel teapot with with the insert to put the loose leaf in there. I have quite a few options. I use sometimes a good old pot on the stove, and pour it through a mug with a strainer on top. Whatever type of tea depends. I made some shiso tea the other day because of planter. I haven't had the tea. I had the greens. I think that kind of cleaned me out though. I probably shouldn't have drank that, but man, I had that with oregano, some oregano leaves, and some fresh wasn't basil. I put shiso, oregano, and it may have been some mint. No, lemon balm. I put lemon balm in there. That tea, man, was tea. So But that's good. So that's kind of got me started before I do the cleanse. Um, but I haven't been that bad, but there has been a lot of takeout food, Caribbean food, you know, rice, and I shouldn't be eating the rice, like, and then people cook Caribbean food and they put sugar and all these different things in there. Table salt. I don't use table salt. I use, so I gotta get off of the takeout. So I'm gonna make some juices today and tomorrow. I have a big watermelon to juice. I'm gonna make some green juice today, with honeydew melon as a sweetness, and just get that in the fridge ready to go and do some small cooking, and then get that going. And part of the problem was it's been very humid in the daytime. Nobody wants to put on the stove or the oven during the daytime when it was this hot. But now that it's kind of cooled down, I'll do some batch cooking. It was just too Listen, G Mama, if your shisu has gone to seed, make sure you get them seeds off fast, fast. They spread all over the place. I had shisu. I was gonna plant shisu this year. I didn't have to plant none. Not a one did I have to plant. It was in 3 different pots that I didn't even plant it in because the seeds blew there. The plant that I did plant it in, it was there. In this patio stones in here, all over the place. Everywhere was shisu. So I knew what it looked like. So I said, okay, and I, let it grow. I popped them up and transplanted, or I gave it to the girls to eat. So they will spread all over the place. So if you're in a place that doesn't want all those plants, be very careful. Okay, someone just said they left. Another cleaning job. Okay. Um, but it tastes good. It has a beautiful smell. Now that when it starts to flower, I was saying that in Planters Live the other day, but it smells almost as equally as good as the bee balm. And the bee balm smells nice. Like, when you smell plant, it's like, and I didn't realize that that's what they use in a lot of perfumes as well, but it smells so nice. I'm going to harvest the bee balm maybe tomorrow morning, and I'm going to harvest the lemongrass. I'm going to just cut it down halfway and dry that, and then have some lemongrass tea. I love lemongrass tea. And I'm going to harvest the shisu. I think Planter did a video about him. I think he just dried it like as large stalks. I'm not sure. I have to watch it and then mince it up smaller. So I'm going to do that, dry it, and then I'm not letting the seeds spread like last time. I have enough seeds. We're not doing that this year. And let that harvest. But if I do let it happen, I think the girls could eat it, so that's fine. I don't know if they loved it, but they love basil and they like Swiss. They love Swiss chard. Yeah, it smells. I'm like, what's that smell? It was the shisu, and I never heard of it until Planter mentioned it. And at the around the same time when he mentioned it, my tenant gave me a plant called perilla. It's the red leaf one, and she didn't give me the name. I said to her, "Can you ask the lady who gave it to you what it's called? Because I like to know the names of plants so I can kind of research them." Because she said that they use them as like how we use callaloo and spinach, and they saute it and mix it up with different greens. So when I looked at perilla, I'm like, okay. And then I realized after Planter mentioned, I put in what is perilla also known as, just to check, and it's shisu. It's the same plant. So it's funny how things work out sometimes. Because people know that I like plants, so they're sending me the plants. Even the man who did the fence is like, "Oh, you love your plants, you love your plants, you love your plants." I said, I don't have plants, I have food. There's a difference. I'm not here growing all these flowers. It's food. It's completely different level. So don't put me down as like, the plant lady who's here growing all these just plants for decoration. Most of the stuff I have here is to eat. And the girls are included in that, even though I'm not going to eat them. They're for something else. But and he saw, oh, are they? Hey, D Macro, but saw your lives. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Well, I see you in real life, so it's okay. But yeah, I try it out. I have the red one. It's a lovely plant to look at. It's a very pretty plant. It's very lush. It's almost reminds me of D Macro, maybe coral bell, not coral, not lie, not coral bells. What's the other one like coral bells? D Macro, what's the other plant like coral bells? It's you had mentioned it the other day, D Macro, variegated something. Oh my god, it's gonna bother me now. Not coral bells. It's not not crotus. Is it not crocus? It's a sea plant. D Macro, help me. It's just leaf and foliage. It's not crocus. It's not crotons. It's not corabels. Oh my god. What's the plant name? It's a popular, like everybody has this plant. It's just there for the foliage and the leaf. And it comes in red, burgundy, or it comes in green. Anyways, it looks like that plant. It's very lush and very large leaves, and it's a nice filler in the landscape to make a tall leafy plant, and then you can have like hostas around, or if you like other things. It's very nice in the landscaping, so it doesn't look like food, but it actually is food. But it spreads like mint, so don't let it go all over the place. That's it, G Mama. Coleus. Thank you. You got it. I'm like saying crow. I'm saying everything. I know it was a C. Coleus. Yes, it looks like a coleus, but not exactly. But it has that kind of look. It gets full and lush, and it's a nice color of burgundy, and it looks good in the fall garden, like next to a stone crop. That kind of fall foliage. It looks very nice. Yes, thank you, coleus. Too much plant names. So it looks very nice. And I'm starting to incorporate in my pots and in my garden, food with like florals, and you like work together. So that's why the man probably said, "Oh, you like your plants, you like your plants." Because he's seeing a lot of flowers and stuff, but he's not seeing that intertwine. That's garlic, that's scallions, that's shallots, that's nasturtiums, that's edible. That's not just the flowers, it's edible. Okay, there's Swiss chard, there's this, there's that. He's not seeing that it's literally a garden. Only he saw was the tomatoes. So I'm going to harvest my tomatoes. The two that I really want are the mortgage lifter and the purple Cherokee, the seeds, because I don't have any of those seeds. Everything else I have the seeds for, but I will harvest them because I do need to have things that have been in my own climate, not just from the pack. So I think I will. And I'm going to plant, I keep saying this every year, I'm going to scale back. I am going to scale back in terms of the amount of varieties I'm planting, because I've been watching some other people who are more veterans in the gardening, you just deadheaded my, in the gardening community, like the homesteading, and they're teaching basically like when you plant a whole bunch of different plants from the same genus and they cross pollinate. That's why you get the hybrid seeds. Now, I'm not against hybrids, I'm fine with it. But if you do want to continue a strong species of seeds and that they're not going to become sterile, you have to be more thoughtful of what you're planting, when, and where. So if you're going to plant like 50 million squashes, he's like, check the genus name, make sure that they're different because they won't interfere with each other. If it's the same genus family, then it will. So I'm going to have to be more thoughtful for next spring. So I am going to sit down because I have a long winter to think about it. It's not like I have a short winter, and really plan out, okay, if I'm doing butternut squash, long neck, all these different things, squashes, the kabocha squash, are they from the same genus? If they are, I'm going to have to pick two and put them at the far extremes of the garden, just so I can get a high quality seed. Because I have to assume that we're not going to be able to get heirloom seeds from the store as readily. And in order to protect my seed, library, I need to be more thoughtful with what I'm planting, when, and where. I don't need golden zucchinis and green zucchinis in the same season. I had gold zucchinis, and two of them came out like stripes, green and gold. So either they got cross pollinated, or the seeds that I took from my own were, they're hybrids. So I'm going to just plant just the green. I'm not going to do 50 million different types of zucchini. I'm going to do one type and multiple plants. That would make more sense. These champagne bubble tomatoes are very prolific. I had no idea the plant grew like this. I've never even heard of those. Let me check it up on my phone. So that's what I'm going to do. And as I'm doing it, I will share that in maybe a few months' time, because I'm going to sit down and decide what I'm growing. Because there's no point of me growing 10 types of tomatoes when I really only need two or three. And what am I going to use them for? Am I freezing them? Am I making pasta sauce? Am I making chili? I need to decide what that season is going to be used for preserving and stick to that plan as much as possible. If I'm going to be making chili, what is my favorite tomato to put in the chili, or two kinds, and mix and match them? I don't want to it's just, you need to be more I need to be more thoughtful. I don't have acres and acres of space, so I need to be, have a better plan. But at the same time, oh, they're yellow. I'm seeing them here, Bumbles, also known as white currant. Okay. A few companies have them. And I know and the thing about it too is I'm giving away seeds to people. There's quite a few people here that do garden and take their gardening seriously. They don't understand hybrids. They're from the old way. And if I know better, I have to do better so that I can ensure that I'm giving them good quality seeds and explain to them, some little tips. And then they're taking my tips. They came back months later. Oh, I'm doing what you said. I'm doing what you said. I'm like, oh, good, thank you, because they realize that the long game. The long game is okay. Oh my God. Okay, you have to make sure you have a good seed library. I need to get ready to go to this family. I'll be listening in the bushes. Yep. I think I have to be. I'm going to end soon because, to be honest, I'm supposed to be going to that same family event as extended family, and I don't even. Anyways, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Oh, hey, Darren. Yeah, I couldn't go on this morning. There's too much going on, so I popped in now just to check in um this afternoon. But yeah, I want to be more thoughtful with what I'm planting. And I made the mistake of planting the tiny tomatoes where I should have planted like something else. I thought they were going to grow taller and have small cherry tomatoes, but that plant is actually a compact plant, and I gave it prime real estate. So that's not happening again. But now that I know, that plant can probably do well in the indoor hydroponics. I can put them in its own little container and put that indoors. And that's what I need to do. I'm also going to be spraying my veranda, probably with some kind of organic chemical. I removed all the plants from there. I'm going to spray it down because that's definitely part of where the aphids are coming from. Spray the window well, the outdoors, the door frame, and make sure I'm going to sanitize all the trays with whatever and bring them back in. And just when the gardening season is finished outdoors, I'll start my seeds indoors in about October. I don't want to go too early because I don't want to have another infestation because it was too much hassle. At the parents' house, they finally had an infestation. They didn't even know. I'm like, those are aphids. Oh, they are? I'm like, they're not supposed to be. They weren't even watching the thing anymore. They weren't taking care of it. They weren't fertilizing. They were just like, because they're doing the outdoor garden. And between my scraps and their scraps, the chickens are eating a lot of greens, and they love kale, they love Swiss chard. I gave them a zucchini this morning that was kind of going bad in the kitchen. I picked it too early, so it was kind of funny. So I'm gonna even zucchini. I'm gonna cook that with some saltfish and some stuff for the family. But that's what I'm focusing on. I don't want to have things that I don't need. I'm not gonna use, and that I don't know how to preserve. It's just a waste of time all around. There's only so much experimenting I want to do each season, and I need to spend more time getting some of these projects finished. Limit the experiments to one or two, three plants, maybe. That's it. This year was the chickens, fig trees, several plants, harvesting seeds, hydroponics, growing wheat. Like, I've done at least 10 things. First time. Now I'm cloning plants. Like, I gotta taper it down and really focus and specialize in the things that I'm currently learning so I know exactly what I'm doing. I can't be all over the place. Hey, Tamika. So that's what I'm doing. And just grow something. You don't have to. Some of you haven't grown anything before, and you're like, oh, everyone in their gardens. You don't have to do like all the stuff that we're doing. Lettuce, start with lettuce, maybe a tomato if you can. I like arugula if you like a spicy green. Swiss if you like Swiss chard, mustard greens, collard greens. Like keep it simple to that. You don't have to, hey Fifi, you don't have to have 50 million stuff growing. Start simple. Something that you're going to actually eat. Learn about it and learn about it and master it. Learn how to deal with the pests, disease. There's one plant that I took from the library, some beans, homestead beans or peas, whatever. And that plant has a lot of powdery mildew, a lot of powdery mildew. And a lot of the vines that I planted is just dying up, drying up. So I'm just gonna let the plant dry up to seed and give seeds away. The beans were it's like a sugar snap pea. It's very nice. It's sweet. It's crunchy, but the plant attracts a lot. Yeah. Oh yeah, onions and garlic. I recommend definitely onions. That's easy. Garlic you plant in the fall and you just leave it. It sits there. You amend the soil, make sure it's nice and fertile. Onions, garlics. I like leeks. Spring onions will come back every year, and I always recommend thyme, whatever kind of thyme, maybe different kinds, and it comes back even in a cold climate. It comes back every year. Those are pretty easy things to plant. You don't have to buy your herbs anymore. I definitely think if you're seasoning with like onions, garlics, scallions, thyme, that's your basic green seasoning. Some Scotch bonnet if you really like, and there you go. You're good to go. Good to go. Any extra you get from those, I freeze my thyme, my fresh thyme, and I also dry it. And I also make green seasoning. Scallions, I wash them, mince them up, and freeze them. It tastes better than when you dry them, but I have dried them as well for different, make my own powder. Um, Scallions, same, onion, same thing, garlic, same thing. It lasts a long time. So those are good things to start with before going into fruit trees and squashes and cucumbers. Don't worry about that just yet. Just start simple. Once you taste the food and how good it tastes and the seasonings taste and how enjoyable it is, you're going to start going into more. I don't think anyone started gardening and said, "Oh, I quit. I hate plants. I hate gardening. I hate the food taste. I'm going to go back to the store." I haven't heard anybody doing that. And if you have, that's a damn lie. Hey Jova, that's a damn lie. Um and my neighbor, who I told you guys, she wasn't planting. She gave me a zucchini. So, and I think what people are seeing is the prices. The inflation is so high that they're starting, hey Lulu, they're starting to garden more, and they're showing an interest because now it's not so cheap to buy groceries. They're not even talking about the quality of the food, they're just talking about the price. So they're trying to find something else to do. So, let me drop the link again. I think I dropped it in a while. Um, and I'm gonna make Fifi. I'm gonna make you a mod. 'Cause I need some other mods, depending on what time I'm on. I know G Mama's here. 1 second. Let me go on YouTube and click that down before I forget. But yeah, just grow your own food. There's something about getting your hands dirty and just being proactive with where your food comes from. Hold on, where's Fifi? Okay, that one. Okay. So just okay, I see. Oh, I see GT's going live at 4:30. I don't know if that's my time or his time, but it's coming up, so I'll roll over there after. But yeah, just plant some food. It's not as hard as, people say it is. When you go into the gardening community, we talk in depth. Yeah, I gave you a wrench, Fifi. Just, so I have another between you, G Mama, Lashes, D Macro, and Triple. One of you guys will be on, so hopefully. So then I have um some eyes just in case. But usually I don't see nothing rude, but you never know. Yeah, you got a wrench. If you don't mind. If not, then I can take it off. um our internet was off, just now coming back on. Ooh, that's horrible. I can't live without internet now. I got more data on my phone, so I'm good. I can go live on my phone more often because that was holding me back, man. These people are so teeth over here. Teeth. Um. So yeah, plant some food. I'm getting a lot of stuff on Instagram, so I'm putting it on my story. So check those out. Whatever I find, I'm just putting out there for you guys just to see and learn. I don't know how to use Instagram that good, to be honest. So I'm trying to figure out how to put them on my reels, but it doesn't work properly. Um, make sure y'all be hit. Oh yes, yes, no problem, Fifi. I was talking about you today too because I was telling my sister, I'm like, yeah, there's people who are growing meat birds and turkeys and all kind of stuff, and she's like, I'm like, yeah, they're growing food like nothing, and butchering them themselves and going fishing, and then she's like, I'm like, yeah, like I was saying, black people, because she's like, back home people do that stuff, but here I go, yeah, people here are doing it. They're going hunting, they going on the boat in the ocean, and they're going fishing and doing all kind of stuff. Here she's like, oh wow. I'm like, yeah, because it wasn't prevalent. I didn't see that growing up, to be honest, in Canada. Here I didn't see none of that. But now, being on YouTube, I'm seeing a lot of it now. I don't know if it was always like that, but I'm seeing it now. And she's like, oh, and I go, yeah, it's a lady too. She's showing it. So she goes, oh wow. Okay, so I'll answer her after. So I was telling her, I want to grow meat birds and stuff like that, but I can't do it here, obviously. Well, who knows? The guy who did my fence at the back lives on my street, so he now knows I have the cluck clucks. So my low key secret, keep it under the down low, on the down low, is not so down low. So at least 5 people. So if somebody rats me out, it's gonna be a problem. I don't know who it came from. But he was like, "Oh, are they okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course they're okay." Because winter, what about winter? They're full of feathers. They have a downfield coat 12 months a year. Summertime is more hurtful to them, not the winter. Like people think you're dumb. Like people, I find a lot of people think you're dumb. Maybe me. Like they think you have no sense. They think that you pick up these birds and just put them back there and did no research, read no book, asked no questions, and just brought them back here and just whatever. And I'm gonna leave the outdoor run wide open and let the snow blow on them. Obviously, I'm gonna put up plastic. Did you see Fifi have a video with the plastic around the place and she had the place nice up and protected in the wintertime? Oh no. They think you're dumb. No, I'm not dumb. I know how to read and write and interpret data. Like, I'm good. I got it. Got it. But like yeah. Yeah, she had a nice fishing video. Um it's not the hey Nikki, it's not the first video, but she had a few. The one thing I don't like about fish, though, I hate cleaning fish. I always hate, like my mom hated it too. I hate cleaning fish and the scales flying all over the place. So that's the one part I don't like about fishing, but I love like the snapper. I don't know if you guys watch this guy he's on Instagram and YouTube, but I watch him on Instagram. Um, Permaculture something. He's also a dentist, if you know who I'm talking about. Andre the Farmer. Yeah, that's it. Andre the Farmer. And he has a permaculture company name. I can't remember the name, but Andre the Farmer, he went on a fishing trip. He's from Toronto originally. He lives in Florida now. So I know he came back for Caravana because I saw him down there jump down on the video jumping up with the flag and carrying on at the mass with his family. But he goes fishing a lot and he showed different types of snapper. I know red snapper, yellow snapper, and one more. He had a whole bunch of snappers. Never heard of them in my life. He went and bought some. He showed like them getting the fish out the ocean and the fish is fighting them. I'm like, wow, this is kind of exciting. I gotta go fishing. A new one this morning. I saw one this morning. I didn't watch it yet. I saw you posted one this morning. I saw the thumbnail, so I'm gonna watch it after. But there's a few, yeah, a few. Who else goes fishing? I watched rustic fisherman. He goes fishing a lot. I'm not sure if it's deep sea fishing. I can't tell, but I think it's lake fishing. But I'm liking the deep sea fishing. I'm not gonna go. Well, I'm not sure when hunting season starts this year in Ontario for turkeys. I may have missed it already, but I am gonna get. See, I have a lot of things to get done, guys, and I didn't get them done. And the hunting license, I didn't get it done. I forgot. I was on fire, and then I forgot. So I have to go online, apply for the hunting license, do the little test, get that, so I can go hunting um with somebody and start to hunt turkey. I'm probably going to be sick when I have to do the actual butchering part, but well, I'll cross that bridge when it comes. I saw somebody. Who did I see? Was it Fifi's video or another video? It was another video. And I don't know about butchering. I don't want to go too deep because some people are like, "Oh my god." Um but the head was on for a long time. Like, I don't know. I think Fifi is like me. We cut off the head pretty much kind of first. Do you cut the do you decapitate first, Fifi, and then pluck the feathers, or do you pluck all the feathers and then cut the thing off? But the head was on a little too long, and then he didn't hang it upside down and drain it. I'm like, don't you supposed to drain everything out? I don't know. There's some things that I didn't like, so I'm gonna have to find out for sure. Because I want to be, yeah. So I'm gonna go hunting here. I just haven't finished some things I should have finished already, and I'm gonna get that in the next 4 weeks. The hunting license, I gotta get something else done, and it's just too much delays. Deep sea fishing is fun. I only do salt. Yeah, I don't like lake fish. To me, lake fish tastes fishy. If that makes sense, it's a fish, but it tastes like it's been sitting in just dirty water. It don't taste nice, and you have to soak that in some brine to get that taste out of it. It was just, ugh, I didn't like it. I don't think somebody brought my dad a fish and we made it, but I don't think I minded that one too much. I had to see what kind of fish it was. But as a general rule, I don't like lake fish. I like saltwater fish. It just tastes better. Oh, wild turkey is tasty. I've never had wild turkey that I can recall. I think we maybe bought one at the store for Thanksgiving once, but I don't think so. Oh, you have yeah, that too, fishing light. So all that stuff I gotta get. We usually go fishing at church. The men go. I was gonna invite myself this year, but they didn't go this year, so there was no invite to invite myself too. So I'm gonna get my license so I can go next year with them, and they can have the little man thing over there, and I'll just go over there, and so I have somebody there to be around. I cut the jugular and drain the. Then I take the off once it stops moving. Yeah, like I think we take that part off early so it can drain, and then we pluck. And I think people who use the machine, that's what I was saying. It made no sense. Why is it the neck on there is tangling up in those things that hit the thing that is spinning around? Y'all didn't come here for that. But anyways, this is and then back in the day we used to have to pluck by hand, dip it in hot water and pluck by hand. I know about them stuff. My aunt had to do that here and in Jamaica. So I'm glad for the machine. What? I'll read that in my mind. The head off the with a What do you mean? You don't what? Don't you just cut it off? I don't know, but I don't know about now turkey hunting. They fly, right? No, it's not. No, it's goose. I think that's goose. I don't know if I like goose. There's one I want to try to do the air, like when they do the clay pellets, and you have to. There's a guy I watch as well. I forgot his channel name. He does it in the air, and then there's all these fake birds in the field that are like a decoy. I don't know. He was going through it, and he has a daughter. Some of you might know him. I can't remember his name. And he has a young daughter, and she can shoot. Like he had a couple of videos of her handling some power tools that like grown people can't even handle. She can shoot, and she was there with them, and he's showing her what to do, and he's training her up how to hunt. It's very nice. I like seeing that. Some people are like, that's not right, but whatever, to each their own. But I think it's good that she knows how to do that stuff. It tastes like mud, just like fish that caught. Yeah, and brackish. I don't like it. I don't like the taste of lake fish. I like the fun of fishing, kind of, but I wouldn't eat that. You can call them in and. Now tell me. Now you tell me. I bought 2 peach trees and a grapevine. Yeah, start small. Can't stop walking. Start small. Start small because you don't want to go overboard. Just start with things that you like, and then nothing wrong with the peach tree though. I had a peach tree, it died, so I had to buy a new one. I haven't found a new one yet, so I have to work on that. I love peaches. Um, No, it wasn't yours, Fifi, because it made. Why do you want it beating around the plucker and it was this thing bounce? It was horrible. Skin the okay. I won't read that out loud because of the platform, the AI, and no further support. Oh, skin it. Oh, I don't know. I've never done that. We always leave that on, and then you freeze it with the thing. I don't know. I've never tried it, so maybe that's something to try. Then you don't have to pluck no feathers. Maybe that's something to try. I don't know. Um, she has a video with a step by step cleaning a chicken. I think I watch it. That's why like I watch a lot of videos and I have a playlist with different people's videos of like certain categories. So chicken was one. I have a couple of people did quail. Quail is like what Howie said. They take a scissors and they clip and then they literally rip off the skin with the feathers and everything, just like ripping off the fish off of, skin off of salmon, and then just boom. I'm like, oh, and he could do that in your kitchen sink. He goes, you can get a basin. It's not very messy, and you have to probably do like a few at a time, and you need to serve two because they're so tiny for dinner. But he's like, he was just doing it right in New York in the backyard, like boom, clip, clip, scissors, boom. I'm like, oh, I can do that. That's why I was gonna get quail because I'm like, okay, they're small, they're discreet, they're not that noisy, and you can have a male and you can get fertile eggs. Um, but I didn't get the quail because it was too much back and forth with people on Facebook and negotiating and back and forth. So I haven't done the quail yet. The chickens happen to come through earlier and faster. Yeah, I think it's like rabbit. Exactly. You just peel it off, and it's like that. And rabbits, I had a rabbit as a young like a not a kid, but I don't remember what it tastes like. I think I liked it, but I don't remember. I haven't really had it. You hunt turkey with a bow or pew pew bird shot. I want to try a bow too. I'm gonna try. Oh, wild turkey. Okay, so that I think it was that, and they were like, I don't know how they aim when it's flying. Like, do you aim in front of the bird so that by the time the projectile gets there, you'll make contact? I guess you gotta, count so many seconds in front of the bird. Is that how you guys do it? I'm like, so I talk with my hands. I'm like putting the hands up while I'm talking. Um, Grouse, you step on both wings and pull and breast meat. My goodness, it seemed like you really. Hey, Lydia, it seemed like you really do a lot of. Yeah, I watched somebody clean rabbit. It was a bit because I haven't done it, but I'm not like disgusted by it. But like you have that pit, that you feel that pit in the bottom of your stomach, like ugh. But I watched it. It wasn't that bad, and I guess you have to do those things like all together. Like if you're gonna butcher an animal, you spend take the family all day, you just butcher them all at once. I can't be one who does like, okay, I'll need one on Friday. I need one next Tuesday. Like, no, do it all at once, get it over and done with, because and then just because I can't keep looking them in the eye and say, okay, I'm gonna eat you on Monday. I can't do it. You get attached, even though they're not pets. You do get attached. So I can't do it. Yeah, I couldn't go on this morning, Lydia. Man, August and September are a bit busy. I had to go clean. I got to go clean. I don't do Sundays. That's supposed to be my day of rest and worship. But sometimes you got to make an exception if you're running a business, and then somebody else can't get a good cleaner. So I'm there. You know how it is sometimes. And I want to see a video of your new Lydia, your new chicken cage. I know you got the nice one from Tractor, the nice Pride Producer's Pride. That's the one I want, but they don't sell that here. The store that's like Tractor, which is here called PV, they don't sell that. So I would have to probably go over to Buffalo, buy it, and drive it back if I really wanted it. But I think I want that because that one is more sturdy, and then you can just put hardware mesh on the bottom so that paws can't get through and grab it, because chickens are dumb. Chickens will, like, I've been at the side and they come to you, and I'm like, they'll go to a raccoon and be like, hi, you want to be my friend? And then you'll see like a neck. Anyways, let's not go there. But yeah, they're not too bright. You won't mind cleaning a critter when you're hungry. No, exactly. Important not to let the creature. Exactly. I don't believe in suffering at all. So you gotta be quick That's why I'm trying to get that discomfort out of my system, so that if I'm going to do it, I know how to do it quickly and respectfully, so that I'm not making them suffer. I don't want to. That's not right either. I definitely, you need to know what you're doing and just do it. Um, if I had to butcher the birds, I'm having a salad. Exactly. That's what people. There's this other guy. I'm watching a lot of YouTube this the last few weeks. There's a guy that I watch, a homesteader. I just came upon their channel. It's a big channel, but I came upon it recently. He and his wife and his children, and he was talk. He has these talks, and he was saying that, you know, not literally, but he's just saying maybe people should start to have to butcher their own food. Then they would have more of appreciation for it and actually understand where their food is coming from, and the stuff that they're doing. Um, you know, I was all the way all in the wrong urban content. Yeah, you should go on at 9 a.m. But I couldn't do it this morning. I was already on the road heading to go do the site clean, and then yeah, I- and I was gonna do it while I was there, but I'm like, nah, it's not really fair to you guys. Like, you're multitasking and you don't really get to be engaged as much as you want to. Um, Especially if I'm going to go on once a week, I'd rather just do it properly, and then if I'm running errands and I go live, that's different. To take you on for the ride, but Saturday should be try to give you more of a focused experience. But yeah, he was just saying, like, then people would kind of, have a different perspective with where your food comes from if you had to actually go through the entire process, because we're so used to just going to the store, scanning it, you get the cuts that you want, and boom, boom, boom. There's no face to the food, there's no behind the scenes. We don't really understand the process. And we used to, back in the day, it was kind of like you go to your local butcher. Sometimes you would pick the live animal and whatever. Like, it was more involvement, but that's not the case anymore. And he was just saying, like, he goes, I think a lot of people would not eat meat if they had to actually do the entire process. But he's not like judging anything. He's just saying, and I go, I think he's right. I told my friend that, and she's like, oh, I wouldn't butcher them. I go, so then I'm like, if you don't want to butcher the animal, then maybe you shouldn't eat meat. Because if you can't yourself do it, and you're putting it in the hands of someone else to do all the dirty work for you, why are you eating it? Are you eating it because it's available, because you have access to it? As long as you don't have to get your hands dirty. Like, we are just discussing, like, the thought process of that statement. And she was just like, I ain't, she goes, well, maybe I wouldn't eat it if I had to do it all the work, raise it, feed it. And then, you know, she goes, I probably wouldn't eat what I'm eating, and I probably wouldn't eat it half as much. And I said, that's an interesting conclusion. So we just, we talk about a whole bunch of stuff. We always bring up, random controversial topics. Um, FR saying, you aim when they are on the ground. If they take flight, you missed. But I saw one guy firing in the air, like, what they call skeet shooting, but it was actually real birds flying. It must have been geese, but maybe it was ducks. Don't pew turkey when it's flying, but bird like ducks you do. Okay, I'm catching up. So ducks, it's probably a duck or a goose. That was flying, but even then, I don't know how they're. Mind you, I've never done it, that's why I can't imagine how you're aiming and how you're hitting. And he did get a few, like 3 or 4, but he didn't get them all. And then he has to be like moving, rotate, like, I don't know. I guess he's just good at what he does. He's been doing it for a long time. How he's saying, all my life when I was young, I lived in the tundra with Inuit. Oh, so okay. You're very experienced. These are skills that I wish I had taken more time to learn earlier. I know back in the day, like, we used to have like Girl Scouts and brownies and rangers and stuff. You put your kids in to earn their badges and start a fire and, like, all these skills, but I haven't really seen them as prevalent nowadays. Like, and we didn't go camping because my parents are like, you're not going nowhere where we don't know the people them there. And some strange people and come fill up me pick them. No, sir, you're not going nowhere. My parents didn't do sleepovers and do none of that. They didn't trust nobody with their kids like that. So that was never going to happen. So I was never going to get those hands-on skills unless it was at a place where supervision and they could be there. Um, yeah, I invite myself on the men's fishing trip. What do you think this is? I invite myself. I told the man I'm coming to the fishing trip because if I don't invite myself, I'm not gonna get no fishing trip because the ladies aren't going fishing. So and I said I'll pack my own lunch. I'll sleep on the side, and Una can have a man talk over there, and I'll say over there. I'm just coming for the ride and to show me what to do by myself on the men's fishing trip. I have no other choice. If I don't invite myself, I don't get any experience. Girls don't. The girls that I hang out with don't do that. They just pedicures and manicures. I don't have anyone else to go with. I've been hearing that it's called processing animals. Yeah, processing or dispatching or freezer camping to agree to the content. Yeah, like there's so many. You gotta watch your words so much that it's hard to, plant to plate to person. I like with fish and I catch exactly. Um, I know you forage, Howie. You always finding food all over the place. Hunt, fish, and grow my food. That's a skill. Like that's exactly you're doing exactly what we are talking about, but you're actually doing it day to day. Well, not just you. Fifi's doing it, other people are doing it, but you in terms of foraging, you know how to find a plant and know what it looks like. I'm sure you know all the poisonous plants just by looking at it. I gotta pull up my phone and find the app and I gotta scan it. And by the time I'm scanning it, you're like, oh no, boom, 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 boom. That's what we have to be. Forget the app. Have the knowledge already in your mind. Um, you know exactly when things come into season and when they're fruiting. I know some, but not all of that stuff. Um, let me see. This thing is slow to load. I agree. People would appreciate the education on where their food comes from and the entire process. Yes, skeet shooting for practice. Yeah, we don't appreciate where the food comes from. We don't get it. And I don't agree with a lot of what's happening in the food system, even without whether I'm vegan or plant-based or not. Um, people are vegan, I know, out of a protest. They don't want to participate in the food system any longer. They don't agree with what's going on and how animals are treated. Neither do I don't think the animals should be locked in a 12-inch by 12-inch cage for their entire life and that's how they live. I see how people raise their egg layers literally in a metal cage and their head sticks out for the food and the egg rolls away and there's nothing even soft to sit on. There's not like that's how they live. And when they're finished their usefulness, they literally look like a hot mess and then throw them out. I don't even know. And this is not just here around the globe. I don't think that's how an animal should be raised in a metal box. That's not right. That's not right. And we need to change the system. I don't think always leaving it is the answer. We need to demand change. It's a B shot. So there are several pellets you would okay. So it's not firing one at a time. It's like firing two and three, like those so you would hit at a time and okay, you see? I don't know. As you guys can see, I don't know. I'm learning. I like to know the mechanics of something before I do it. Like I don't want to just go and do it. I want to know the mechanics. I want to know the components, the parts, how the process works, what's supposed to be happening before I even do it so that I perform better when I kind of know. Okay, Fifi, now I know that what you were talking about last night. Yeah, certain words. Like I said the word earlier, the K word. I'm like, oh shoot. And it already came out, so I can't take it back. But um, it's just it's so concerning that you can't even just say simple things like simple processes just the way that it is. You got to filter and adjust the words and make it more, you know. There's a girl that I was watching again. I don't know if she's on YouTube. Yeah, I don't. You guys must have seen this girl. She's a young girl. She's a competition shooter. She's about 12 years old. I can't remember her name. She came on my feed. Someone did a story about her. She's homeschooled. They live in, I think they live in a trailer. It looks like on a nice piece of property in the country. And they posted her with two tools, two hand ones, and she was doing boom, 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 and the hand thing. Um, and people took a snippet of that video and are using it on other platforms and basically trashing the parents and her, and oh, that's how they train up cereal boxes. But I'm not saying cereal boxes, hint hint, cereal boxes that are gonna go and do things at schools and blah blah blah. And they're trash talking, and they're like, that has nothing to do with that. If someone's not mentally stable, like, the two are not connected. She's being trained and to do things properly and have proper, technique and so forth. She's being homeschooled. She's balanced, has a nice social life, has a good friend group. She's living in the country. She's not exposed to all these kind of stuff. She's very intelligent, all around kid. And the first thing they want to say is, "Oh, you're training a." No, do some more research before you start, saying these comments. And she's doing a very good job. She's very skilled. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she's about 12. The father's into that thing, and he trained her, and I'm sure she can hunt, not a problem. She knows how to handle all the different styles, reloading. I'm like, wow, oh my gosh, she's 12, but she's good. She's, and her parents seem like they're regular, all around good people, and they have a good head on their shoulders. But people take a snippet of a video or snippet of your life or something that you said, and they make a whole analysis about you as a person. And, like, come on, you don't know the person in their entirety, and you can't base one snippet on your assessment of that person. It's a bit rash. My girls are, hold on, let me see. My girls are First Nation Plains Cree, so spent a little time in the wild raising my girls as I did not care for the system in play in the mid 80s. My kids are healthy. Oh, that's good. Those skills are wonderful. My friend's dad, he is First Nations, but I, correct me if I'm wrong, but something to the effect of, if you couldn't inherit your status, your First Nation status, through the mother. I think that's how it used to be in Canada. So he could not, he had to fight for his status. He finally got it maybe a few years ago now. I can't even remember. And he never really said he was First Nations. He kind of, we knew he was, but we didn't know the extent, if that makes sense. Like, he never, we knew that his father or some connection and his family used to live on the reservation. But now he's more open about it, and he claimed his status because that's what he wanted to do all the time, but he couldn't. And now you understand a lot more about him. Oh, you saw the clips, D-Mood. Yeah, she's a good kid. She's smart. Like, smart kid. Well balanced. You know. Yeah, I was like, man, this girl's bad. But yeah, he had to fight. I know there was a big fight with the First Nations to get your status through your mother, the lineage of your mother. I didn't know half this stuff growing up. I'm learning a lot more about our own Canadian history now that I'm taking the time to learn. Urban, that's why I can't and won't show how a lot of what I do too much quick. Exactly. That's what I was telling my sister. I'm like, why am I showing X, Y, and Z? If they're like-minded people, then fine, but I'm not going to show it all on social media. It's not even worth it. There's not enough time in the day to be doing what you're doing. Then, putting it out there, editing it for you to be picked apart. No, thank you. No, thank you. I remember even one video you put up, Fifi, showing your dog playing with the chicken. And they're like, oh, how can you? And then you said, I know my dog. They're just playing. Like, her tail's up. They're just playing tag with the chicken. And the chicken was behind the fence still. It wasn't like but I know what she's saying. Like, and you were there watching them. You weren't leaving the chicken unsupervised. You were watching the chicken, because I know sometimes dogs can have that instinct. But, oh, how do you think it's funny? It's not a joke. And the woman's getting all upset. It's a short. If you don't like it, skip to the next one. Why are you lecturing me about the damn dog and the damn chicken? Like, calm down. And these same people will see somebody getting their butt kicked and stand there and watch and not get involved. But you're talking about the damn chicken and my dog, and I'm right here supervising. Like, really? 1 second. I see your comment, but I'm going to get down to a second. My girls were taught to hunt, trap, fish, forage, and grow their own food. No one that I know, men or women, can do what they can. That's good. Taught them how to defend themselves. Okay. All right, Howie. We'll leave it at that. I'm going to make sure you're on my list of people that I visit if I ever go to your part of town. We have to fight for our status as earthly. Oh, you know what I mean though, Howie. He had to fight to get his card or whatever. You get your card. Um, my daughter is involved. Whoops. In a lot of what I do also. Oh, see, that's good. Exactly. And you don't show her. People have too much. I know. Anyways, I heard from a channel, I can't remember who, because again, I watch so much stuff, that they were saying in other countries, I think it was the red country, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember which country the exact statement was made, but they're teaching the kids about certain things, even like 2A basic 2A training, like how they used to have that in states for the kids, like skeet shooting and certain activities was kind of mandatory. They're doing that in other countries, and they're doing some other programming. um Maybe even like they're bringing in a lot more horticulture. Like when we were growing up, when my parents were growing up in Jamaica, 4-H club was a big thing in Jamaica, and other countries had a similar program, 4-H club. And they're kind of bringing that back in other countries because they want their kids to have certain training as well as self-defense, and how to handle a power tool. Nowadays these kids don't know how to use a needle and thread to fix a button. They can't darn a sock. They don't know how to use a sewing machine to fix a stitch on a pillowcase. They don't know how to use a stove and turn on the stove. They don't know how to there's a lot of things they don't even know how to do because they're not required to learn. We had that when I was in middle school. They had home ec, and we learned how to bake a cake, make sew shorts, sew a top, make a skirt. We knew how to make a basic meal, how to handle the stove. They taught you how to safety, kitchen safety. If a fire came, like certain things that you learned, we learned it at home, but we also learned it at school. Certain skills we learned. Industrial, had to do basic plumbing. I didn't do the plumbing, but I did like the lathe and woodworking. I did metalworking. We did a dustpan and something else. And the plum, I didn't get in the plumbing, but in high school they had that. I wish I had a plumbing in the middle school just to do a basic. Yeah, 4-8. I'm telling you, other countries are bringing that back in, but they're also putting in a bit of like a 2A thing because they want the kids to know certain things because they see what's happening. But every US and even now Brazil want to take away. Just keep an eye on what's happening. Some people want to complain. They say they're miserable, miserable. I don't got time to. There's very few things I really get that involved with. Like I don't have time. Yes, I've gotten so much hate for some of the videos, but my purpose here is to share, learn, and help someone who needs to help. I'm giving. Yep, they can scroll on by. I know I'm getting help. So I have so much fun being on your channel, but must say go now. Much love. Okay, much love, Howie. We'll see you later. Yeah, 4-H club. And I know in Jamaica, I haven't been back in a while. Probably 2019, 2018, maybe. I can't remember, to be honest. I gotta check my passport, the stamp. Maybe 2018. And I have to go back. I don't know about you all. I have to get my Jamaican passport. Well, Demood, I don't know if you have yours still. I'm gonna go get my Jamaican passport just in case something will go along. We can go and stay there as long as I need to, not be on my Canadian passport. So I'm working on that, and I think I can do it from Canada as well because the consulate guy says you can do it now from here. Um, so I'm gonna get that sorted out. But yeah, the 4-H club was still going on, and they're teaching more about growing food, greenhouses. I think they even were bringing in a bit of hydroponic and stuff because the people that weren't growing. Like start growing your own food. How you in Jamaica and you have land all around you, and you're going to the market to buy all your greens and your scallion, and it made no sense. Um, oh, you have 4-H club where you are, Felicia. Yes, I love. That's what we need. And there's a lot of jobs and careers in agriculture. It's not just like, oh, you're on the farm with overalls. Like we have this interpretation. There's a lot of science based. There's a lot of biology, all this, stuff, all kind of categories you can go into in just the agricultural department, and a lot of money involved. A lot of people have paid their way through post-secondary school in Jamaica farming. A lot of women I'm seeing who doing farming of potatoes and different stuff. Never mind the ones that are doing hydroponics. That's a whole other level. And there's a lot of people doing hydroponics down in Jamaica. They're growing their own stuff, and they want to decrease the imports of food from overseas, which I think is an excellent idea considering the climate that's going on right now, especially with Jamaica, because of what they won't, would, and won't do. And we'll leave that there. Those who know, and we'll leave that there. Um, yeah, they're pushing agriculture and animal husbandry. They need to demood because you see what's going on, and they might get cut off soon. So they have to make sure that them own a thing a go on, them own thing a go on, for go make them own a something a go on. I would rather buy from Jamaica than to buy imported stuff in Jamaica. I always look at the thing. I'm like, I'm not buying that. I want Jamaican goods. Yeah, you can. Yeah, get your passport demoed. You never know. You never know. Because I'm about to say for more than I think I'm allowed 6 months on a Canadian passport or less. If I gotta say longer, I need to have my Jamaican. My dad got his again as well. He he's like, why? I'm like, when we go back, we can go in the short line, naturalized. We don't have to go into the immigration line. So he got his again, and then my siblings got to get theirs. My brother, not all of us were born in Jamaica, so that's the first thing. Some people were born in England, some people were born here, some people were born over there. As you all know how it goes. Because we were a British colony at that point, so you could go back and forth, no problem. But and my cousin who was born in England had to go back and get her British just in case, her UK, and then I think she can still get her Jamaican passport because if your parents are Jamaican, you're entitled to get a Jamaican passport. If your grandparents are Jamaican, you can get a Jamaican passport. They will allow you to descendants to get it to get to claim your heritage. They'll let you have a passport. So those of you who are here are going to listen in the future, if you want your Jamaican passport, you don't have to be born there. You could have your parents, one parent, one grandparent. You have rights to claim to get a Jamaican passport because you just don't know. And but yeah, Jamaica needs to be self-sufficient, definitely, and that has been lacking. But I saw a push to kind of agriculture. They should be growing their own food. A lot of the stuff that I was seeing in the stores was from Trinidad and Tobago. Why is it from Trinidad and Tobago? And a lot of the problems with the food, I have to blame the US because when Clinton was in office, that's when they had all these trade deals, and to make them more fair, the developing countries got the short end of the stick, and that the banana industry gone. Mash up, plantain mash up, milk mash up. When they brought in the fast foods from America to over there, they wouldn't use their local meats and stuff, and there was a big fight. Mash up. Like, really? How long are the people the politicians gonna let this happen in Jamaica? Have your own stuff. I got certain things that have to expire before I can do that. Oh, try to hear certain secret reasons. Mhm. Mhm. I saw it go. But when you can get it, get it. Definitely get it. My friend, even he has his. He goes, anyhow, them decide to deport me after being here and a citizen from here from how long? Me gone back on my yard. He has his house down there and stuff. He always kept something there just in case because he goes, if they tell me I have to leave, no problem. He'll just sell his stuff here, pack up his bag, and he's gone. No problem. Always keep your home country passport. And I was watching today, but hold on, before I read that, let me read the comment. Always keep your home country passport valid. Also, some countries have, I was just going to say, by investment programs. I can only speak for my country, Grenada. I was watching a video today. Was it a video? Yes, I was watching a video on the way home. I was looking for a video that I sent to my sister. I can't find the video. And something else came on my feed. And they're talking about the 5 countries that allow African Americans to what do you call it, relocate there or patriate, whatever the word is. I can't find the right word. There. So Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and another one. I can't remember the last one now. South Africa. Anyways, they allow you all to who any have any ties in your family lineage, from the transatlantic slave trade, whatever, you can, or if not, you can go over. If you want to go to another culture, go back to a different way of life, open a business, they are allowing you to become citizens. Some say you don't need a visa or a work permit, you can just go there and just start your life. And they're opening the doors heavily. Was it Uganda? Can't remember. South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe. Maybe it was Uganda was the last one. Hey, Erica. So, it's up to you. But there's a lot of doors open. And I know people don't want to leave because they said, other countries are worse. That's true. There's good and bad and ugly in every situation. You have to weigh the pros and cons for yourself. But you're not going to know sometimes until you at least visit. It's up to you. Um, keep the door. The world's a big place. Some people I know are in Costa Rica. I know a lot of Jamaicans who are in, and my friend schoolmate in high school, she was Costa Rican, and she used to always get irritated because people would assume that she's like either Jamaican or Trinidadian or one of the other islands, and then they wouldn't believe that she's from Costa Rica. Fluent Spanish, been there for generations. A lot of Jamaicans are in Belize. I know quite a few people in Belize, and a lot of Jamaicans I know in the Cayman because they went there to work, and a lot of them are there. So there's endless possibilities. There's more to the world than just where you're living right now. So check it out. You might be interested in going somewhere different. I got 2 more years to wait, and then it'll breeze by. And hopefully you have your other, like I have my mother's and parents' birth papers. I have their marriage certificate. I have all that stuff already. I just got to go get it done. But we want to do ours together, my sibling, so that we can just hand it in one time and then just get that in the works. I'm going to get a passport. We're selling the family land down there. So hopefully, and my mom's family land, because it's too far in and I don't know nobody down there. And it's just going to put a target on me. So let me just we sell my parents, they're not going back there to live. We want to sell that property and then, you know, whatever they want to do with the different portions, and then we just buy something small in either a gated community or somewhere near to an area that's a little safer. And then obviously when I go back, I now have my license for the power tools. So I can go down there. I have some connections, not many, with people who are in the JDF. So, and my ex was in the JDF. So I don't talk to him, but if I had to, I can just say, yo, link me up with somebody to be a reference. So I can get my power tool license in Jamaica. So, I think I know somebody who was even in the police. So, get somebody to kind of be the reference, and then get my license down there. Because once I'm down there, I always said I'm not living down there unless I have my license. And just so happened I made it a reality. Um yeah, small 1 acre, maybe 2 acre. Um and definitely, in Jamaica, everything's about rain catchment. You're not really set up to a grid. Well, I won't be. I'll have my own rain catchment. Chickens. I don't even know if they have quail down there, but I'll figure out something about importing whatever. Who knows? I want some different fowl though, because they only have the red fowl. I want some, like barred rock and, you know, Plymouth American breast. I think that one's a very good dual purpose bird. Stuff like that. Garden, greenhouse. Definitely would want some, stuff like that. I don't need much, but I need my fruit trees. I need ground provisions. I need the greens, tomatoes. I need water catchment, entertainment space, patio, nice outdoor space. Hey Martika. I need place to store food and keep things, and it's hot down there, so it's very difficult. And this stuff like that, and that's it. And I'm good. And I want probably a cow or a goat or two. and you know raise them, breed them, and then just keep dispatching them, and having that to eat. And now that I can start the pressure can, it won't be a problem. Yeah, people are living on their demu. That's the problem. And the man built a house in the middle of my mom's family. I'm tired. I'm tired of them, and I don't want to go there and fight because I'm a fighter, and I'll go there and cuss and tell them what's it, and it's gonna be a big problem. So just sell it, let somebody else and some of the police just clear them off the land and move along. My dad's land is not that. Someone was gonna try to catch on there, but my uncle went back there from England to move, so they couldn't catch back on there. And they were cussing us. Why do you need so much land for? Yo, who are you talking to? I have family land in Jamaica also. I was told I have people. Yep. And then I don't know if you heard, I have somebody I know, very affluent family. The family is living on the land in not Saint, is it Saint Mary? It's probably Saint Mary. No, is it Saint Mary? It's not Mandeville. No, Elizabeth, Saint Elizabeth. Them live down there. The family's on there. Couple of family homes on the property. They've been paying the taxes every year. All of a sudden, they go to pay the taxes, and they're told that the name is not their name, not the family name, some different name. Somebody at the tax office got change the title and put one different name. How is that even humanly legally possible? So now they're in a legal battle to get the title put back in the right name. And you know how much money that costs? Family in England, Canada, and America have to go send money for go fight this in the court when they've been living there since how much generations? They've always been on the land. Somebody in the office went and go switch up paperwork. That shouldn't even be allowed. But yeah, that's what's happening. And then you better watch because they have squatters' rights. So you have to go down every so often and push them off the land and make it official because it's squatter rights. No, not good, Demo. They can legally own it. Well, in Jamaica they can't if you're paying the taxes, but if they go and pay the taxes and have receipt that they pay the taxes, you're not problem. It's dangerous to fight about land back home. You can, oh yeah, you go missing. That's why they said sell it. My mom's, anyways. My dad is we want to sell it. It's too big. It's like over 50 acres. We don't need that. Everyone's getting older. They're not going back to live there and go work 50 acres of land. They're not doing it. But yeah, it's very dangerous. And I don't know how to keep quiet because of people. So it's not going to work. So yeah, I've toned down, but I will cut somebody off. So it's not a good look. So let me just sell it, go somewhere else where it's safer. And then I don't have to deal with this nonsense because people, and they act like it's theirs. Like it's baffling. There's several people that I know just they're just like whatever, forget it, let it go. Other families on the property and they can't get it back. Like they can't get it back. They would have to go out there blazing to get the family property back when it's theirs. But you can't argue with ignorant people. Yep, you can't argue with ignorant people. Ignorant, and now the tax office is changing paperwork behind people's back. This corruption is deep, deep, deep. That's very common in our island also because it is who you know in these establishments and they can fix up false papers. But if you have the original papers, yeah, I don't know how it worked. All I know says we hear, I've never heard that in my life. I've never heard the title just being changed. I'm telling you, it's a problem. And that's the problem why we can't sell the land because title, and this title and that mix up, and then dividing up the it's just too much. I said just put the title, one title, sell the whole thing one time, and then all the surviving siblings and the kids of the unsurviving sibling just get that cut it off equally. Because to go get the title changed the way you want it take years and years and years. They move so slow. I'm like, are you paid to move this slow? Like I don't understand it. And I have to go to this office for stamp, then that office to go official, and then this office. Everything is so like unproductive. It's ridiculous. I am not keeping that family land. It's too dangerous. And I don't know, as I said, I don't know the people there. All the people that dead and gone, growing old, moving with their kids, not there anymore. So you're gonna go there now from foreign, and then they say, "Oh, you're from foreign. You're coming with big money, big." Yeah, I'm not going down there for live. I don't know about you guys who from the island. I'm not going down there for live. My pot wasn't that good, so they'll come for me. They'll just look at me and say, "You're not from around here, are you?" So I'm not going down there to live in that same neighborhood that I was from. It doesn't make sense. Whether I have a pew pew or not, it don't make no sense, because 9 times out of 10, those same cops are the same ones that are hired by the Don to go deal with your case. So no, thank you, no thanks, no ma'am. Let me drop the link, and then I'm gonna chit chat a bit more, and then we'll wrap it up. I came here for a short time, and look how long I'm still here for an hour and a half. But I'm gonna drop some seeds, and I'm supposed to go to this, like. mm, I'm not sure. I'm just checking if what's his GT, because I don't he's going live. I don't see him on yet. I don't see him on my phone. No, I don't see him on yet. Okay, I think he's coming on soon. So I'll wrap it up when I see him. When I see him going on, I'm gonna go to his next. But yeah, just drop some seeds. Those of you who have a passport, you have access to. I will get the passport. I'm getting mine redone. Just in case. It's part of my emergency plan, just in case I gotta leave here. I'll go somewhere there and just. I have my accounts already over there. I got things set up over there. From I've been working on it for a few years. I can go somewhere else as well. There's other islands I know of some people, so it's not, all is not lost. But I'm not banking on everything here. That's for sure. And if things go really left, I'd rather be in a warmer climate than in this cold climate. That's, to me, more difficult. Maybe it's not, but to me it seems more difficult to be in a cold climate. I'd rather be somewhere a little warmer. um what did I miss? Plant, hold on, I'm trying to catch up here. Land holds huge value. Yep, huge value. People fight, but I'm telling you, one guy built a house back home next to our property, and there's a wall. Those old fashioned walls from like the war, not the war, from the British time, made of rocks, and it's just like a solid wall. Him gonna like him knock some of the wall to build the house. If you're squatting on property and there's so much space in front of you, why are you pushing down the wall? Like that guy was weird. And the house is literally the size of most people's. I can't even say most people's. The house was literally 5 feet by 5 feet. The entire house is 5 feet by 5 feet. He had no need to knock the wall. When I went back in 2019, he had a girlfriend or a wife, I wasn't sure, and a child. And all three of them live in the 5 by 5 house. Then he drove me. I was walking down the road to go to the main road to get a taxi to go down, because I'm near Brownstown. To Brownstown to go now to Discovery Bay. So he see me walking down the road to the main road and ask me. I said, "Yeah, I'm going to the Brownstown um, to catch the other taxi." He goes, "Okay, I'll drop you." When the man had me in the car, no word of a lie, it was like Fred Flintstone. There was no bottom to the car. I had to prop my feet on something, and he's driving, and I'm looking down at the road, and I'm saying, "You couldn't put one little piece of board or something on there? You have me in the car like this?" And he's laughing because he's like, "You really just speak your, of course I'm going to speak my mind. How you have me in this little ningy car like this, and I'm looking down and seeing the road like I'm Fred Flintstone? Where is the bottom of the car?" Mind you, he gave me a ride, so I shouldn't be complaining. But anyways, he gave me a ride, and to the Brownstown to the taxi to go down to Discovery Bay. And the man driving in the car, proud, proud, proud. You would think I was driving in a Tesla. The man was driving like he was in a Tesla, driving the Queen in a Tesla. Felt nice. No car bottom. The man probably had no brake because the brake wasn't really going on too good. And I'm like, Lord, every time I go to Jamaica, I'm like, Lord, help me get home in one piece, please. Because the driving is just not even from this planet. literally. And at any point in time when you're going around those bends, a truck could be coming and you don't even know what's going to come around the corner. Those of you who don't know, it's not, I don't like driving down there. I always go in a taxi. I do not like driving. I can drive left side, but most people have a right-sided vehicle but on the left side, if that makes sense. They have an American vehicle that they're driving, and it throws me off because I'm trying to remember, okay, I have to be near the curb, which is over here. And I'm like, forget it. Come on, the car. You guys drive. I can't take it. I can't take it. And I know how to drive stick, but I can't drive stick with my other hand because I'm not used to it. So it throws me all the way off. So I have to practice because that's the one thing I can drive. But hey, Shanna, hey, Jason, I can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot do it. But the man had no bottom of the car. The amount of things I had to experience on that. Then I got cut off by one driver because I went in the taxi. And what I realized is when I'm down there, if I'm in a like a minivan in the very back, I get car sick. I get car sick. I get the world is spinning, the place is spinning. And I went to the back, but I didn't realize it was like a van setup until he laid down some others. I go, no. I can't be in the back. I can't be in the back. I'm gonna get car sick. I said I need to be in the front or like the second row. I can't be in the very back. There's something about the air pressure. I don't know what it is, and I get car sick. And the man like, no, it's a sport. I said, hold on a second, you look a dirty boy. Who are you talking to like that? And then we're going back and forth, back and forth. You know what? I take the next cab. Plum, slam the door. Take the next cab. I'm spending my money with this jerk. And I'll when I go down there years later, I don't take his cab. I will go for somebody else. I can't stand the man. The man made me sick just to look at that man. So rude. I'm like, no, I'm gonna get sick. Let me go into the earlier seat because to the front. I don't know what it is, but I get sick. He don't care. I'm more used to driving stick in the vehicle in Japan. Once you throw me into an American vehicle, yeah, I'm telling you, I've been in a car here in Canada and people are driving and it's also they go on the wrong, like they forgot they're in Canada and they go back to, I'm like, we're on. So I always tell people, look at the curve. Well, steering wheel should always be in the center of the road if it's the right kind of vehicle, and your passenger should be near the sidewalk. That's all you got to focus on. Your driver's side is near the line in the middle, and then the sidewalk. Just that's all you got to focus on. Don't worry about nothing else, and then just don't go too fast so that you don't be whipping around and you're on the wrong side of the road. Crazy. I'm like, you're on the wrong side. He goes, oh, I forgot I was in Canada. I forgot for a second I was in Canada. I'm like, oh my god. But it happens when you're driving in so many countries, you literally forget sometimes where you are. Once you drive down there one time, I got the hang of it, but my uncle's like, you're driving too close to the rocks and you're going to hit the car. And I was probably a bit too close to the rocks. But if you know the drive from Brownstown to Discovery Bay, the road is so narrow and it's a two-way road, two-way traffic. And it's all these winding roads. I was just like, man, if I had a regular sized car, it wouldn't be so bad. But he's like, nah, come on, you're done. You're fired. So I was like, okay, no more driving for you. But I can drive on the main road from the airport, Montego Bay, all the way down to Discovery Bay, even down to Ocho Rios. I can do that no problem. I can do certain roads no problem. But that winding old road from like 1920, nope, it's too narrow. I did that, and once you go too far over, you're literally down a precipice. There's nothing. There's no railing. There's no guard. There's nothing. So I'm just like, I'll stick to the rock side. He goes, you're too close to the rocks. You're gonna hit the rocks. I almost hit them a few times, but I didn't. But still, that was it. You're fired. I did that once when I was home on leave, scared that, yeah. And then they think you've been drinking, but it's no, you haven't been drinking. You literally forgot. Like, you have to remember where you are. And then I went into the taxi in Jamaica and I sat on what I thought was the passenger side, but it was really the driver's side because I forgot where I was. So I'm sitting on the driver's side, not even seeing that there's a steering wheel in front of me. And then all the men them were like talking there. They stopped and they turned looking at me like, so the man goes, I said, oh, sorry, wrong side. I said, I'm from America. Sorry, wrong side. I got confused. And he's like, where should I go in the driver's seat? Like a fear car. The man thought I was being fresh. Like a fear car. Oh, I said, I forgot. Like, this is the passenger side in America. I said America because I don't know what Canada is half the time. And I forgot that, okay, I have to go on the other side. So, like, my bad. He was like, they all stopped. Yeah, the precipice. Mm-hmm. Never trust me. And when you go to what's the place I used to drive through now? Can't remember the place. There's a military base there. If I remember the name, I know people will know what I'm talking about. There's a military base in a some place. I can't remember the name. I was going to Spanish Town and I went somewhere. Not Menard. What a place called it? Some place. Anyways, you want to see trucks, big rigs, trucks driving down those roads. And oh my God, never again. Never again. Yep. I don't like driving over there. I'll take a taxi. I don't want to go. And then people tell you, oh, make a left, and then pass this sycamore tree down to the Aki tree. Can you give me a street name or some street signs? That's not really helping me since I don't even know what half those trees really look like. Well, yes, I am, but I don't know what the trees look like. So, and turn left at the so and so. No street sign, no street names, not even a road. What they call a road is like a little alley. Like, how am I supposed to find stuff? But somehow you find something. Do you know so and so from so and so? Oh yes, over the hillside, over the. You ask about 20 people on your way to the so and so's house because you can't find where you're going. Then somehow you find where you're going, and then you have to see. I gotta leave here by 3 o'clock to get out before the sun sets because you gotta find your way back out to the main road again. No, thank you. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm not doing that ever again. I took too many risks. I said no more. Oh, GT is live now. Is he okay? He's live. So I'm gonna go to GT Junior. Let me drop his link if I can find. Hold on, with my using my phone. Give me a second here, and then you can meet me all there because I've been on here long enough. And let's support. Hold on, I'm trying to find the link on my phone. I'm very No, hold on, I can't. Oh, there. Hold on. Give me a second. Bear with me, because share, copy link. I'll drop it in there, and then I'm gonna go over there. Okay, I did it. Okay, I'm going to support GT Junior. Thanks for popping in. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. I'll see you in these YouTube streets probably Monday, and don't forget to like the video. It helps with the algorithm. And I'll see you next week. See you at GT's Live. Bye.